to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want.
Workout 2 of a fat loss phase. It's also post a vacation, so we're working through, coming out the back end of a vacation, heading into a fat loss phase. Prior to the vacation, it was a pretty long one, 4 weeks. I was in a fat loss phase, and I just want to kind of finish that off. I want to open up a really sort of long duration of muscle gain. And again, if I get to a leaner spot feeling well, it'll open up a good range of time for me to kind of just put on muscle and increase performance and stuff like that. So that's the goal of the next, maybe 8 to 12 weeks, is to kind of get down to a lowish body fat and lowish weight to open up, a good chunk of time to put on weight, and even with a little bit of fat gain, be able to kind of still be in decent body composition. So that's where we're at. So let's go through the workout for today. So this is a quad dominant lower body day, or a quad beginning lower body day, should I say. So we're going to start with the Smith machine back squat. Now I'm doing something a little bit different with that for the final set. I'm going to finish off the final set with a superset or a down set, where I go from the last set of my Smith machine back squat, walk over, immediately start some walking lunges. So this is a way for me to add a little bit of volume without too much extra time. It's a bit of an intensity technique, and I quite like it. So it'll be, 2 standard sets of a Smith machine back squat, and then immediately after the third set, I'm going to go straight into a set of walking lunges. Now, my glute dominant exercise for today, I'm not sure what it was going to be, because this is a new workout at a different gym. So I'm going to figure that out as we go, and I'll post a clip here, but we shall see what my glute dominant exercise will be for today. Then we're going seated hamstring curl. The variation that we have here is different than the one at the previous gym, and I really like it, so that'll be good. Leg extension. The leg extension, they have a hustler block here to increase range of motion, so they'll isolate the quads. Machine adduction for a lowish rep range. Then we're going to go, I know they have a donkey calf raise here, so I'm going to do donkey calf raise, and then a lying leg raise for abdominals, or machine crunch. We'll see when we get there. So that shall be the workout for today. We are, post this holiday, still kind of working out some jet lag, I think. I feel a bit shit overall, so we're going to work through that. And overall, heading back into a fat loss phase, getting the steps back higher, getting the food under control after a vacation, and the goal is to give myself a nice chunk of time to put on some muscle and go from there. All right, let's go Smith machine back squat. Also, not a lot of battery on this camera. Didn't charge well last night, so we're going to have to be, we'll see how much we get film. All right, let's go. All right, first up, heels elevated Smith machine back squat. So I do the Smith machine on a few different movements because it increases our stability. So it just allows an ability to kind of push really hard without any issue with technique or balance or anything like that. So that's a good thing. The other thing, the heels elevation I use not only a block which elevates heels, but I've also got my weightlifting shoes. And what I've found when doing this is this stops me from shooting my hips up as I start to get fatigued or when the weight's really heavy. So a combination of it makes it feel real quaddy and it keeps my technique quite sound. So I use both my weightlifting shoes and the block. For me, this has worked really well. It's reduced the amount of weight that I can lift pretty significantly. So hopefully that means it's more targeted towards my quads. So feet on, I like a pretty narrow stance, keeping chest nice and upright, body nice and upright. Come out of the bottom using the quads. So, as mentioned in the intro, we'll go 2 sets on here, and then immediately after the third set, I'm going to set up a sandbag and do some walking lunges. So just to add a little bit extra work to my legs or quads without too much time, extra, quad or another exercise or anything like that. Just here, 1, 2, straight after the third set, walk over there and do a set of walking lunges as a bit of a superset or a down set. Okay, let's build up the weight. All right, next up, seated hamstring curl. Normally I would do some glute stuff here, and at the previous gym that I was training out of, it was a hip thrust machine that was pretty good. The hip thrust machine here doesn't allow a great range of motion, so I haven't decided what I'm going to do for glutes yet, but I know I want to use this hamstring curl because this is a really good hamstring curl machine. So seated hamstring curl potentially has some advantage over the lying hamstring curl in that we have this pre-stretch hamstring position. So because the hamstring is a muscle, or most of the muscle passes both the knee and the hip, with a straight leg we have a stretched out hamstring, but with a flexed hip as well we get that further stretch. So it's like that sit and reach stretch. So the seated variation gets us into that pre-stretch position. The lying one has our hip a little bit flexed but not fully flexed. So the lying hamstring curl here is also really good. But yeah, this one should be excellent. So essentially we want to set ourselves up such that that pad is on the back of our ankle, nice and low down. We're going to then bring this down, lock it onto our legs really hard, and that's going to not allow any kind of movement or instability or any kind of movement around. As I said, bring the heels down to the butt, control the way out, gentle tap, heels down to the butt. So the previous gym I was training out of didn't have this clamp down on the legs, it just had one on the back of the ankle and the front of the knee. I much prefer this kind of variation, so looking forward to using this. All right, 3 sets here in maybe the 8 to 12-ish rep range. All right, let's go. All right, we found our glute exercise. So we're going to go a single leg press. What else do they call machines like this? I don't know. I'll figure out what it's called and then I'll get back to you on that one. So essentially what we're trying to do here is create lots of hip flexion with not much knee flexion. Quads have already worked with the squats. Don't want to get them too... Well, not that we don't want work for them. We just want this to be biased towards the glutes. So if I do something that's too knee flexion and get a lot of quad activation, I won't be able to feel my glutes. Not that you have to feel them, but it is good feedback sometimes to be able to feel it. So I'm going to do a single leg press variation. I think this is quite a good machine from what I've had to play around with as far as resistance goes. Looks like it's going to be hard at the beginning and get easier as it goes. We get a lot of hip flexion, placing the foot nice and high up on the platform. Push myself away. One leg, the other leg goes underneath the platform and then drive away. Don't think I'm going to need a whole bunch of weight, and it feels real nice. So I'm going to be happy with this one, I think. Almost looks like a step up-ish. Not heaps of knee flexion. And a whole bunch of hip flexion, so should be good. Feels good even with no weight. Maybe I'll chuck a 10 on each side and have a practice, and then see where I'm at. 2 sets for glutes, about 8 to 12 reps per set. Let's go. Ugh.